Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Super Wrestling Federation's Saturday Night Powerslam! And look at the top of the stage, you see two of the biggest stars in the SWF and one of the greatest tag teams of all times, Ed Trout, Brandon Trout, the Troutbusters! We saw them debut at Halloween's spectacular pay-per-view event, Face Your Fears, and tonight they return for tag team action to take on the men they faced then, the Hellspawners. From the depths of hell's fire and brimstone, I bring to you one of the most dangerous duos to ever walk the face of the earth and ever step inside of an SWF arena. I'm talking, of course, about the Devil's Advocate, Damian Reed, and the Face Your Fears, the Prowler. And look at that, these two men wearing very similar colors. The Prowler no longer all black, he's got some red on him. We see a dark red and black on Damian Reed as well. These two starting to look more and more like a tag team every time we see them together. And folks, we have a surprise for you tonight. Tonight's match is going to be a Texas Tornado tag team match. All four men will be legal at one time. First fall to the finish. There will be no countouts, no disqualifications, pinfall, submission, or critical knockout. Those are the only ways to win tonight's match. Anything goes. All men are legal. This should be a barn burner, ladies and gentlemen. One for the ages. Two tag teams here in the SWF that made their debuts as teams at SWF's Halloween Spectacular, Face Your Fears, where we would see the debut of the legend Ed Trout. Now, we've seen a few times since. Beautiful tag team maneuver there on SWF programming since. But this is the first time since October that we've seen the Troutbusters take on the Hellspawners. It's the first time we've seen them in a Tornado tag team match. This is the second Tornado tag team match in SWF history to date. This time it's between two rivals. Well, two tag team rivals, rather. The Troutbusters and the Hellspawners. These men claim to come from the depths of hell's fire and brimstones. Beautiful dropkick there by Brandon Trout, rather. The Troutbusters both being taken down by Damian Reed. We've got the Prowler locking up with Brandon Trout biting his forehead. And he's been busted open. Brandon Trout is bleeding profusely after that bite by the Prowler. Now we've got Ed Trout just being taken down there by Damian Reed. Ed Trout taking down Damian Reed now with the falling fist drop. There's so much chaos going on right now. I'm trying to call all the action at the best of my ability. Ed Trout now having his forehead bitten like an apple by the Prowler. Both members of the Troutbusters, Brandon and Ed, are both busted open, bleeding profusely. Oh my goodness, the scythe coming into play by the Prowler, scraping across the forehead of Brandon Trout, who retaliates with a go to sleep forearm smash right into the head of Ed Trout. Beautiful dropkick by Brandon Trout. Running off the ropes is Damian Reed, and oh, a diving knee right into the side of the head of Ed Trout. A headlock being applied by Brandon Trout to the Prowler, and now a gutbuster in retaliation by the Prowler. Pinfall. Only a one count. The mandible claw! The mandible claw being applied! Ed Trout saves his tag team partner, his grandson Brandon. This should be a very intense, very emotional, very interesting match. The two big name tag teams in the Super Wrestling Federation going at it for the second time in a Texas Tornado tag team match, no less. Nice falling elbow drop there by Brandon Trout onto the Prowler. Ed Trout going for the pin. Not even a one count. The crowd expressing their appreciation of the match being performed in front of them as they give a round of applause to all of the competitors. The fans are very pleased with this match so far, and they're making it very well known. The Prowler taking down Ed and Brandon. The Prowler going for the pin. Only a one count. Brandon Trout kicks out, trying to save Ed Trout from Damian Reed, only to be intercepted there by the Prowler, who bites his open wound. Oh, beautiful spear there by Ed Trout. Brandon now dragging away the Prowler. Knees to the face of Damian Reed by Ed Trout. Wait a second, the Prowler picks up Ed Trout and, oh, smashes his knee. And now a gutbuster to Brandon. and Trout fighting off both members of the Hell Spawners. Taunting going on by Ed Trout, trying to get the crowd hyped up and on their side. Goes for the spear, but it's interrupted. Oh, kick to the groin of Brandon Trout by the Prowler. Irish whip now. The Prowler bouncing off the ropes. Abandoned by Brandon Trout, who turned his attention to Damian Reed, now taking down both members of the Hell Spawners. Slap to the back there. Wait a second. Tag team work here by the Troutbusters. Amazing tag team move. Falling fist drop in a moonsault combination. Brandon Trout double suplex to the outside of the ring. Ed Trout is in there alone. Brandon Trout gets back inside to protect his tag team partner. Remember, folks, it's first fall to the finish. It's not elimination. First fall wins the match. You have to protect yourself and your opponent. This is more dangerous than a regular tag team match because the match could end at any time. Ed Trout escapes after the 2 count. Kick to the face there. The Prowler takes down both members of the Troutbusters with elbows to the faces. Oh, punch to the stomach. A heavy blow takes down Brandon Trout. Oh, the Prowler interrupted with taunting to the fans by being speared by Ed Trout, who then drop kicks Damian Reed to the ground. We've got the submission hold being applied by Brandon Trout. Ed Trout being choked away by the Prowler. Will Ed Trout give up? No, he escapes. The knees of Damian Reed being smashed by Brandon Trout. Ed Trout with the clubbing to the back. The Prowler taking down Brandon Trout. The Prowler going after Ed Trout now, but Ed Trout fighting back with Fists of Fury. Takes down the Feaster of Fears. Brandon Trout going back to the top. Oh, front flipping senton. Hits the Prowler at the same time that Ed Trout hits the Prowler. Beautiful tag team chemistry there by the Troutbusters. Mongolian chops there by Ed Trout. Brandon Trout going for the pin now. Damian Reed can't help his partner. He got caught up in that Russian leg sweep. Luckily for them, it was only a 2.9. Too close, but not close enough to pick up the win. The match continues. The war wages on. Brandon Trout with the submission hold on Damian Reed. Ed Trout tried to stop the Prowler. However, he didn't realize he was going to be interrupted by a rope break. Wait a second. Damian Reed with the Texas suplex. Ed Trout throwing out the Prowler. Taunting for the crowd. Ed Trout looked like he was going to run off the ropes, maybe go for a diving attack, then turned his attention to the Devil's Advocate. The Feaster of Fears going at it with the Woodpecker Brandon Trout. Forearm smashes back and forth. Spinning heel kick. Oh, shoulder tackle there. Oh, wait, no. Oh! Oh, Damian Reed just snapped the finger of Ed Trout. What a monster. I think he may have broken a finger. I guess we won't know until after the match. Ed Trout is a trooper. He's going to fight through the pain. He's going to do whatever it takes to win this match for himself, his grandson, the tag team, the Troutbusters, working together the best that they can. Oh my God! Brandon Trout, German suplexed out of the ring and into the crowd. The crowd rolled him back under the guardrail to get him back into the ring to help Ed. Taking out the legs of Ed Trout is Damian Reed. The Prowler cornered by Brandon Trout. This does not look good for the Prowler. But wait, he counters. Elbow takes down Brandon Trout. The Prowler waiting for Brandon to get back to his feet. And, oh, diving kick. And Trout with the submission hold applied on Damian Reed. Will Damian tap out? No, he fights to the pain. Wait a second. Oh, the Troutbusters appear to be in trouble right now. Brandon Trout once again. German suplex to the outside of the ring. Dripping blood all over the ground, all over the guardrail, and onto the shoes of the fans. Oh, beautiful axe kick there by Brandon Trout, working on the Prowler. Damian Reed gets a cheap shot in. Knee to the back there. Brandon being rolled over by the Prowler while Ed Trout takes down Damian Reed. The mandible claw! The mandible claw! No! No! Okay, baby. Brandon Trout was knocked out by the mandible claw. The pain was too much. He passed out. The referee had to call it. The Troutbusters have faced their first defeat.